Hey Braves country, what's going on? I'm your host Kale Diestel. Along with me, it's Mick Barnett, and yeah, we're here to discuss a possible trade. We can see our Atlanta Braves pulling off sometime this offseason. As many of you have known, the Braves have been rumored and linked to a lot of guys for the past couple seasons, especially this offseason, as we're on the verge of trying to take that next step to finally get out of the divisional series and make it to the championship series and honestly to the World Series, and not just into the World Series, but to win a World Series. So we're going to be looking at a move that we can see the Braves possibly making, and it actually comes from the outfield. The player that we are talking about is a former All-Star, one-time All-Star, two-time Gold Glove winner, plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Starling Marte. Mick, you want to tell us a little bit about Starling?
Yeah, man, the 31-year-old outfielder out of Pittsburgh spent his whole career over there. He's really been a decent hitter his whole career and always been a great defender, winning 2 Gold Gloves in 15 and 16. But this past year in 2019, he really broke out as a great hitter. An 850 OPS, which is greater, than he has done his whole career, and it's superior, to the average outfielder. He slugged 23 home runs last year, which he has increased over the past 2 years. He used to never, hit over 20 home runs, but he has his past 2 years. His projections next year look pretty great. He's projected to have around an 800 OPS, about bat 277, with another 20 home run season. I mean, this guy would be great, especially with an upgrade to the left field / center field combo that we got going on right now, especially in left field with Markakis and Duvall switching out. It could definitely make a lockdown for that fifth spot in the order and just be a great all-around outfielder for the Braves.
Yeah, Marte has always been a solid player. I mean, he's got a career average of 287. Um, like you said, he's never really fully been a power hitter. Last 2 seasons, he's come into his own, and for the first times, he's slugged over 20 home runs, 20 home runs in 18 and 23 in 2019. But what interests me a lot, actually, and more probably than the power, is his speed. Yes, he used to have elite speed in 2016 when he was an All-Star. He stole 47 bases. Um, that's dropped every season. Obviously, 47 is hard to keep up, but at the same time, he's still stealing 25 bags a year. He stole 25 bags this past season. Um, so yeah, he would be a great pairing with Ronnie in the outfield, and also I think I would want to keep Ender and have Ender in center, because the 2 seasons that Marte, yes, he's a center fielder. He's been the center fielder for the past 3 years, 2 years, whatever. Ever since they lost Andrew McCutchen, he's been the center fielder. But before he was a center fielder, he played in left field, and he won back-to-back Gold Gloves in 2015 and in 2016, playing in left field. So with getting Marte, I would see our outfield looking something along the lines of Ronald Acuna in right field, Ender and Ciarte in center, and Marte in left field, which would be a great. I mean, honestly, one of the best outfields in the game currently. I mean, there's not much else to say about Marte because his numbers speak for themselves. I mean, as Mick said, he would be a great addition into the lineup. Put him into the 5 hole, and then also at the same time, you still need to get a power bat, middle of the order bat. But if you're able to get Marte and let's say re-sign Josh Donaldson, your top of the order is going to be Acuna, Albies, Freeman, Donaldson, Marte, and that's probably as scary of a top 5 that you can find in the National League and probably even in the major leagues. Um, so I know something that a lot of people have been asking is what would a mock trade be looking like?
Hey, wait, one sec. You want
Yeah,
to
you're
talk?
good.
You want to mention his contract status? Because I know
Absolutely.
people are
Yep.
gonna
Yep.
wonder about that.
Yep. Okay, I'll get into that. So a lot of people have asked too about what is Marte's contract. He's not in arbitration. He's not in pre-arb anymore. He's 31 years old. He's been under this contract since 2014 with the Pirates. It was a 6-year, $31 million contract when he signed it at the age of 25. In 2020, this upcoming season, Martes is going to make $11.5 million, which is a good bit, or not even a good bit. It's a average amount. So you would not be overspending. Yes, that is more than what Markakis and Duvall would make combined, but at the same time, for that production that you could get, it's well worth it. So he's got at least 2 years left on contract. He's got this upcoming season, and he's got a club option for next year. It's not even a player option, a club option for 12.5. So if he does not produce this season to the level the Braves want, they can simply use his $2 million buyout. But 12.5 for what's going on in the market these days, as Steven Strasburg just signed a $35 million deal per year. I mean, 12.5, I would say, is a steal for this guy. Yeah, you'd have him for 2 more seasons, his age 31 and age 32 seasons, at reasonable cost. So there's not really a reason the financial part of this trade should not hold you back from making it. Wouldn't you agree, Mick?
Yeah, especially with the market the way it looks like this year. I mean, 11.5 million. I mean, that's absolutely nothing. Compared to I mean, an NCRT making about $7 million. Ronnie in his prime will only be making about 11.5 million. The way the market's trending right now, with free agents getting paid so much, like we've already seen already with Strasburg, we could possibly see the market for free agent players getting bigger salaries as time goes on. And so, $11.5 million and 12.5 in the next year. I mean, that's a steal for the kind of guy that you're getting, like you said.
Absolutely. So I don't think there's really a reason to not make this trade, but that brings up an excellent question. Who are we going to use to make this trade? What would a mock trade look like? So we did a little research. The Pirates, in their current MLB pipeline, top 30 prospects, they do not have a single catcher in the top 30 in their top 30 prospect. Wouldn't you agree, Mick?
Yeah, man, and we've already seen the reports saying that they need it, that they're in looks for a catching prospect. That's their number one sell to getting Marte, and I think the Braves got some pretty good guys that they could put on the market there to appeal to the Pirates.
Absolutely. The Braves have two guys, and they're just not even their top 30, but in their top 10 prospects who could be appealing to the Pirates. However, there's one guy I know you and we really don't want to part with yet, because he was our number one draft pick this past season at 9th overall, Shea Langoliers. He's a stud. He's going to be a stud. He's been raking so far, so I have high hopes for him. However, we also have another guy who's number 8 in our top 30 prospects, William Contreras. He's been in the system for a while. He has moved up, but this past year it kind of seemed like he may have plateaued a little bit. Wouldn't you say, Mick?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of expected him to do a lot more down in where he's at in the minor league level, and he just not really is producing that well. I think Shea definitely is not getting traded in this scenario, even though he is the more desired prospect. But that doesn't take away from William Contreras' value. I mean, he's still the eighth best prospect in the Braves system. He's one of the top catching prospects in baseball overall. He's still young at the young age of 21 years old. And with catching nowadays, you're not really like fetching so far for his offensive stats that you're willing to take the risk and just know that he's a great defensive catcher and know that he can very well put up the numbers because he's still got that age behind him.
I think you said it best. I mean, he plateaued a little bit in Mississippi, but I mean, you don't trade your number one draft pick for that in the same season, if that makes sense. So a mock trade of what I could see, and I mean, he's got the name brand too. His brother is Wilson Contreras, who's on the trade market currently for the Cubs, but is a stud too.
It definitely helps. Definitely helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot, and especially because he's in the Central along with the Pirates, so the Pirates have a first-hand look of what his brother's like. So they're like, hey, why not take a chance on this guy? But a mock trade where I can see is William Contreras, catcher. Also throw in Tucker Davidson. He's a left-handed pitcher for us. Yeah, Tucker Davidson had a great season down in Gwinnett this past season. He made 4 starts in Gwinnett, a 2.84 ERA. Before that, he was down in Mississippi, had a 7.6 win-loss record, 2.03 ERA with 21 games started. So he had a great season actually, in the time he spent between Mississippi and Gwinnett. But the Pirates, in their top 30 prospects, along with not having a catcher in their top 30, they don't have a single left-handed pitcher. So I think that could be pretty valuable, considering what the Pirates are doing, as they are not really sure if they're going into a full rebuild, as they have a lot of young players that are ready right now. So I think Tucker Davidson is actually on the verge and couldn't make his debut this upcoming season. So I think that would be very appealing to the Pirates. So you have William Contreras, who's a catcher, Tucker Davidson, a left-handed pitcher, and I think I would throw in on top, just a little sprinkle on the top, a little cherry on top, I'd throw in Adam Duvall. Yes, Adam Duvall had a better season than this past season than he did the year before when we traded for him. Yes, he was our hero in the postseason, but if we're going to get Marte, there's really no place for Duvall on the active roster, and he's going to be making about $3 million a year in arbitration. So I really think we can move on from him, give the Pirates a ready player to be in the outfield, as they're kind of lacking depth in the outfield right now. They have a bunch of young guys there. So, in conclusion, a mock trade would look like William Contreras, Tucker Davidson, and Adam Duvall for Starling Marte. We may be giving up a little much with Contreras and Davidson, but at the same time, the Braves are at a point where it's win now mode, and you've got to be able to part with some of these prospects. And like I said, the Braves already have a catcher who's better than Contreras right now, and Langoliers. And if he, I mean, you're going to, if you use two catchers, I got to go Shea. I got to go with Shea, has a better upside, in my opinion. But at the same time, that's not taking anything away from Contreras. It's just talking about how good Shea is. So I think I would be okay with getting rid of Contreras. But at the same time, he still will bring in a lot of value. So in conclusion, we think that a possible trade to watch out for this upcoming season, or not even this upcoming season, this upcoming offseason, is Starling Marte from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the Atlanta Braves for a couple prospects. I think it would look great in our outfield. He would look great in our lineup. And all in all, I think it would just be a great addition to this win now team. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully we can get Starling Marte. Hopefully he won't be our only addition left this offseason. But remember, in AA we trust.